Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review, where tonight we are celebrating yet again another fantastic victory for Newcastle United, finishing, of course, at the London Stadium. West Ham United 1, Newcastle United 5, in what was a very, very weird game of football, because the first half, we were all out of the shop, apart from a 10-minute spell in which we scored the 2 goals. Apart from that, the passing, it was just all over the place. And we said at half-time that Eddie would have to stick a rocket up their asses in the dressing room, and something happened, because we came out for that second half a different side. We just blew them out the water. Some players didn't play very well, which we'll come on to, of course. However, it's a team game, and those players that didn't play too well were backed up by the ones that really pulled the fingers out their asses second half. And look, players are going to have bad games. Whatever we give the players tonight in the ratings is based on that particular game, and it always is. And certainly we have nothing but praise for that whole squad. I mean, the way that, time's gone by, we're used to Newcastle United just buckling. If we've had a lead, suddenly it'll get turned over and we'll lose by 5 or 6. This is so different to what we're used to. It's bloody fantastic is what it is. But tonight, guys, if you do enjoy tonight's show, don't forget to stick a like on. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. Fantastic amount of new subscribers last night. It was incredible. So welcome to each and every one of you new subscribers as well. And of course, if you want to donate to the channel, as so many people like to do, hit that $ at the bottom of the live comments. That will take you through to a payment method to donate to the channel, which goes a long way to keeping this going. So thank you very much. And straight off the bat, we've got $4.99 from 12th Man Toon. And he says, I can't wait to hear Alex's thoughts on a certain position. Well, at the moment, he's stroking his beard like a Bond villain, so we will see what he has to say a bit later on. We will move into some comments. Jackie, good evening. Damon, Kev, Chris says, if West Ham and Leicester go down, who would you rather have, Maddison or Rice? Well, to be honest, they're two very different players. Maddison is a deeper player than Rice is deeper than Maddison, so I'd have them both.
But I think it's worth pointing out as well, I don't know if you've heard that Craig Hope has come out a couple of times in the last 2 days and said that he thinks that Maddison to us is a no-go, and he thinks Spurs is a lot more likely. So
I think James Maddison would be off his rocker to go to Spurs. And I know I've seen a few people on social media commenting on that, saying, what planet is he on to go to Spurs? A club that just is stale. And as long as Daniel Levy stays there, it's going to remain stale, in my opinion.
I mean, the one thing I'd like to ask Craig Hope is, Spurs don't currently have a manager, so where's this coming from?
Yeah, exactly. Where is that coming from? Because the new manager who comes in may not want Maddison. But, I mean, people are saying Declan Rice to Arsenal and things like that. But listen, the summer is a few months away. What it is very, very exciting. But could you see a player like Declan Rice coming to Newcastle, Jack?
I think he'd definitely help us out, because we are looking for a defensive midfielder, seeing that Bruno's wanting to play more attackive. So, I would like Declan Rice. I think he's an England international. He's definitely proven in the Premier League. So, I think he's definitely an Eddie Howe type player, because we have been looking for a defensive midfielder. So, I'll take him.
Yeah. Billy, how about you? I mean, obviously, I know you're a big fan of James Maddison, but the times we've seen Declan Rice play against us, he's been brilliant. Now, that first half yesterday, he was superb for West Ham. He dominated and was the catalyst for everything that West Ham threw at us in the first half. Second half, he was still their best player by a long shot. So what do you reckon?
Well, he is their best player by a long shot, let's be honest. He's a world-class midfielder, proving it in international colours for England. I'd take him all day long. However, I just don't see him travelling to Newcastle to play for Newcastle. I think he'll stay in London or maybe one of the Northwest clubs. But if I was to guess where we'd be going, I would guess it'd be either. I'd guess Arsenal all day long because they're quite apt somebody like him.
Yeah,
that's the only club that would suit him right now. I mean, we're quite lucky that everyone else is in transition.
Yeah.
So, and we do have Bruno there, of course, but a lot of people are saying that Bruno needs to move up further up the pitch. The more I see Bruno, the more I don't want him to. You know what I mean? I think he's excelling where he is right now, and he was just fabulous last night. Even when we weren't playing too well, he was still the main man, and I think he's. I'm not saying he's grown into that position because he's played there for a long, long time. But what I'm saying is, the more he plays in Premier League games, the more he knows his role, the more he knows what he's got to do, the more he knows how competitive it's going to be, Alex. And he's just a joy to watch, isn't he? Not just as a defensive midfielder, but as a footballer.
Oh, yeah, well, he's got that Brazilian flair. He can do it anywhere on the pitch. I think it's definitely worth stating, he played in a double pivot for Lyon next to Paqueta. So the fact I've never seen somebody go from double pivot to single pivot and just doesn't care, can do both just as well as the other with no issues. It doesn't matter if he finds himself in the left back, right back, in front of the box. He'll nutmeg somebody if he's in the 6, if he's on the right wing. He's comfortable anywhere on that football pitch. It does not matter where you put him because he's just such a talented footballer. I don't think it really matters if he's going to be in the 6 or the 8. I think it's you just put him wherever and buy people for other places. Although I do,
he's definitely a player to build a side around.
Like him in the 6. Yeah.
Who scored, Billy?
Lionesses. Great goal as well.
Good stuff.
Great team build up, and it's Toon that scored. That's Ella 6 in 2 days.
Yeah, I tell you what, she's a good player as Ella Toon. Of course, England Lionesses playing Brazil tonight at Wembley. Jack, were you surprised at the lineup last night? Because obviously he made 2 changes. Joe Linton coming in for Willock, who he obviously didn't want to really start from the off because of that injury. And then there was, of course, Callum Wilson starting. So what did you feel when you saw the team lineup?
Of course, I predicted Isak to start, and I predicted an unchanged side. But when I saw everyone going, "Oh, Wilson! Oh, for God's sake!" I knew what he was thinking. 1, he's got a very good record against West Ham, Callum Wilson, and he always scores. And 2, look, I said yesterday, this is no disrespect to West Ham or the club or the fans. Brentford is a much tougher game than West Ham. So you got to think really, really carefully on how much time you play the players for and who you play. So I definitely understood. Of course, I would much rather Isak to start, but I get what Eddie Howe was doing there. And it's worked, really. It's paid off because Callum Wilson bagged 2. No, not really. I wasn't really shocked once I wrapped my head around it, but I really understood what it was going for. So, no, not really.
Cool. Ian Chilvers, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. He says, can we all take a moment to appreciate Fabian Schär's pass to Big Joe for the second goal? Simply brilliant. It was. And I mentioned that during commentary, and we said it at half-time, etc.
Redknapp tried to discredit it.
Yes, I didn't mean it, twat.
It's not the first time. Fabian Schär's been doing them all season.
Of course he meant it. It's just because Redknapp wasn't capable in his career of pulling the pass off like that. Bitter, twisted man. DK35, thank you for your $4.99 super chat. Remember, if you do super chat, you're guaranteed that your comment will get read out because obviously it comes right to the top of the screen. He says, hi guys, Isak's arrogance after that goal and his general game reminds me so much of Henry. I see where you're going from with that second goal, because with his goal, because he stood there with his hands on his hips, just looking around thinking, God, this is just magnificent. And I think he was more in shock as well. But the way he took it, Billy, it was so quick, wasn't it? Because he didn't have very much time to think about it. And that's what I loved about the goal. It came off Fabianski, but straight away, he took a touch and then just lobbed it into the net. It was amazing.
It was just mega instinct, wasn't it? Just fantastic centre forwards play, and the finish was sublime. And to have the arrogance stand there like Eric Cantona used to at times, hands on his hips. Yeah, that's gone in. I've just done that.
But with the goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper did it as well.
I mean, it was weird. I've seen so many Photoshop photos of that. the standing. There was one Photoshop. The standing at the counter at Greg's. It looks like ordering from Burger King and things like that. It's
a shame because I love Fabianski, but yeah,
Listen,
that was a shocking game for him. That was really bad.
Had he just stayed in his area, the ball would have got through him anyway. You know, he didn't even need to.
I'm not sure, Billy. I'm not sure.
Wet pitch, skinny pitch. That's going to go through to him.
I disagree. I think Isak was onto that. I really do. But anyway, it doesn't matter, does it?
Because I sent that picture to my missus, and her first thing was like, "Why is Fabianski standing there?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I know. That's why. That's the same thing we're all asking."
It was crazy. But let's not forget, Fabianski did make 2 fabulous saves in the game, which it could have been even more. Dean Hughes, thank you. 2 seconds, Jack. Dean Hughes, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. He says, "What do you guys think of the Adam Crafton article? Has anybody had time to see that?"
Well, it's basically talking about Man United's takeover, isn't it?
It's bollocks, basically.
What he's saying,
what
he was saying was that there was government interference, the UK government interference, because it would disrupt the trade deal between us and Saudi Arabia. So it's going to be more favourable with our takeover bid. Well, that took 18 months. Lord alone knows.
Yeah. People forget that, don't they? They really do forget the fight that everybody had to get the takeover through in the first place. I mean, the way some, certainly Man United journalists and fans alike talking about the takeover from Qatar compared to ours, they seem to think that ours went through in a day. The way they talk about it, it's mental. Peter Dolan, thank you for your £20 super chat. He says, "My brother is refusing to take me to any more away matches in his Mini because I talk to myself incessantly, which really annoys him because I always use a loudhailer when I'm doing it."
I think it's supposed to be a joke, isn't it?
I think so. But anyway, thanks, Peter. Jack, what were you going to say before?
Just Isak and his intelligence as a striker. The ball came over the top from Bruno. He sees Fabianski running towards him. He knows that Fabianski's going to get there first. So what he does is steps back, takes a touch, knowing that he's got enough time to take it, and then just lobs it over. It's just brilliant, intelligent play. And the audacity to just stand there and put hands on his hips is magic. Honestly, I love it.
And let's not forget, guys, right? I'd just like to point out that move that ended in Jacob Murphy's shot being saved by Fabianski. I mean, beautiful. people went on about, I don't know if you can remember, I think it was last season, Sunderland scored a brilliant team goal at Reading. You can't deny it was a brilliant team goal, and that one would have matched it. That ball from Longstaff across to Maxi was world class.
That was sublime. It
was just an incredible pass. Maxi's touch to knock it down to, I think it was it Joe Linton?
Joe Linton.
And then the back heel, and then Maxi's intelligence to play in Murphy. Look, Murphy, I said at the time, he probably should have finished that, but it was a really good save. Murphy did the right thing.
At least it was on target for a change.
He did the right thing, because what he did was he tried to put it back from where Fabianski had come from, didn't he?
Yeah.
But Fabianski, that's why he is normally a very good goalkeeper, and, didn't really come across too quick and held his ground. 2-0 to the Lionesses.
Ooh, nice.
Wow. So
can I just add to that as well? A lot of people, obviously down here, down south, there's a lot of I know a lot of people that support other clubs, and a lot of neutrals, people I work with or friends. Everybody today told me they watched our game last night, not the Man United game. It's turning. It's definitely shifting. And all of them, all the neutrals, no matter who they support, are also making this Henry Isak comparison. It's not just us. So, neutrals are also considering it.
Was the Man United game live?
No. But it doesn't matter. You can watch anywhere these days. But what I'm saying is, you're right, Alex. And I think a lot of people come on social media and, go to the Newcastle fans and badger them and things like that. And it's but secretly they're like watching.
I'm still surprised though, because I still remember back in the day where people wouldn't watch us. Now I'm going into work and going to the gym, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I watched your game last night. It was really good. You guys were really good." I'm like, "Really? You watched our game? Why?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, because you're a really good team." I'm like, "Oh, I guess we are. Yeah, we are a good team."
Yeah, it's brilliant, man. It really is. I've missed a super chat. Oh, I have. Alex05, thank you for your $4.99 super chat. He says, "Can I have a late entry into the giveaway from the other day? Please pounced on their mistakes for once and great results on the Brentford." No, you can't. But thank you very much for the super chats. The shirt is already gone, of course. Just bear with me now because I've lost my place. Oh, there was a good point I was going to read out there. There it is. Yeah, 12. Sorry, this is the pain in the arse about bloody StreamYard. Honestly, like you come off to go to look at something, and then you come back and you've lost your place. The Burglar's Last Burgle says, "I've been a fan of the Toon Review for a while, and it's amazing to see the change from the depressed, rage-filled Paul to smiles and celebrating with Daisy the cow." Was I really rage-filled? I just,
yes,
more just.
You really were.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. But I'm just, yeah, but they were dark days.
I'd love to see a blood pressure reading from then to now.
Oh, well, yeah. Ian Fleming, thank you for another £5 super chat. He says, "Can you guys help me out? I don't think Byrne had one of his better games, but the Chronicle gave him 8 out of 10. Did I miss something?" Yes, Ian. What you've missed is that you never ever take the Chronicle's player ratings as gospel, because sometimes I look at them and I think they weren't even at the game. It's astounding. But I just no. Look, I know, Dan Byrne was not an 8 out of 10, and I'm sure we'll confirm that when we do our player ratings a bit later on in the show.
There's a bit of a skew with him with that game, because you put in 6 tackles and actually he did a lot statistically, but this is why, despite being stato, you've got to watch with your eyes as well. That's why when I go and scout players for transfer shows from funny Brazilian second divisions, you've got to watch them. Because despite Byrne putting in 6 tackles, he put the ball out like 5 times and gave away 1 million corners, and it was useless. Like, stats don't show everything. You need both and a bit of common sense to go along.
I mean, there was once, I have no idea what he was doing in the second half. He had the ball literally near the halfway line, and he ran to the byline and let the ball run out of play. I don't even know what that was.
I don't know what he did.
It was bizarre. Really,
but it's
really
because
bizarre.
It's because he's got some reasonably good statistics. Some publications are just giving him a good score. It's weird. It's really weird.
He may have had 6 tackles, but how many times was he beaten as well? I mean, he was targeted. Bowen went past him with ease on at least 10 occasions. I can remember.
Yeah, it's fair to say Bowen had his life the whole game. I mean, he really did. Spike Milligan, thank you very much for your £50 super chat. That is fantastic. Thank you. He says, "Before the game, I promised myself £10 a goal. I won't do that again. Wasn't expecting 5 goals. Great show as usual. How are the lads and lasses?" And 12 Man Toon, another £4.99. Thank you very much. Paul, I came for your frequent raging, but I stayed for the community. Love what you have done here, mate. Wouldn't part with donations if I didn't. Thank you very much. That's very, very kind. It is a different channel these days, simply because we're in a better place. My mental health is in a better place because I'm not sitting screaming at a camera every weekend complaining about a fat, useless kebab-eating cabbage.
So calm down.
The football was so terrible. I mean, half of our fan forums were counselling sessions. That's how bad it got. But listen, very, very different these days. Frau, thank you very much for your $19.99. Hope you're well out there. I believe you're in the States. This is a team that loves playing for Newcastle just as much as I would want to. It's been a long time. That's a good point, actually, Billy, isn't it? That you can see the players, wanting to play for each other. I think everybody saw that Dan Burton wasn't too good last night, but players kept going over to him and giving him high fives. And what I was delighted about was when he came off. Eddie had a little joke with him. They were smiling. The bench were all joking with him. And Dan Burn would have known he didn't perform too well last night, which is the main thing. He'll put that right. But that's the kind of unity that this team has now.
Yeah, and I think Dan Burn is integral to it because being a local lad as well, same as Sean Longstaff, they've kind of instilled the history of the club into these players that have come along. Eddie Howe has been part of it as well, obviously. And I think he's an integral part. I think he's one of the leaders in the side of Dan Burn. I think people literally look up to him, don't they? So yeah, for him to have a bad game last night, it was great to see the team rally around him and pull the 3 points out the bag, really, because at times we didn't all get the 3 points, did we? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I thought at one stage that Burn would lead to a goal. The amount of times that that Bourne had him on toast, but listen, they didn't, and that's his bad game out the way for me. It's done. If he performs as well as he did against Manchester United now at Brentford, I'll be perfectly happy. Whether he plays, but we'll discuss that tomorrow night on the preview. Preview, review. That seems to be how we're going at the minute, guys. George says Burn was absolutely class. His attacking output and ability just shines right through. I'm just annoying Stato.
Can I just say, I've just seen, I didn't know this was a thing, in Callum Wilson's podcast with Michel Antonio, and Antonio gave him the Macarena to do as a challenge if he scored.
Yeah,
he scored and he did it. I didn't realise it was from Antonio as a bet.
I listened to that podcast
that was a few months ago as well. That wasn't recent. That was like a few months ago. Yeah. So he kept his word.
Yeah, but what he did was he said any celebrations, that was for the home game, he didn't do it. And they spoke about it before this week's game. And he said, well, and Antonio said, yeah, keep the Macarena. You ain't going to be doing it anyway. Yeah. And they were laughing together about warming up together and doing it and things like that.
Anyway, we have another super chat in from...
Oh my God.
I know. I can sing that whole song in Spanish, matey. DK35, thank you for another $4.99. That's a pointless bit of knowledge for you, Alex.
You could do the Macarena perfectly, but you can't say a first name. How is that a thing?
Excuse me, but did I not put you right on a country the other day? I believe I did. So
probably. If it's probably French, I'm crap at French.
You don't want to hear me pronouncing countries after last night. Jesus Christ.
No. Anyway, DK35, thank you for your $4.99. He says, if we got Champions League, I can't see why we couldn't get Theo Hernandez from Milan. That left-hand side overlapping with Maxi would be mad. And the £10 super chat from Sophia. Thank you very much. Superb commentary last night, Paul. In fact, you're all superb, and Jack has been a brilliant addition to the team. Thank you, Sophia. That's very kind. Was someone going to say something there before I read those out?
Nope.
No. I just, Geordie Lad says, seems like everyone is doubting us against Brentford. They are all going for a draw or a Brentford win. Look, if we play as well as we can, we will beat Brentford. All right, I'm telling you now. Man United last night did not play very well against Brentford, and we're lucky again, as Billy keeps saying, time after time after time, that Man United keeps sneaking through their results, which they did last night again. And if it wasn't,
when was the last time they've played very well?
Oh Christ! Well, I don't think they were particularly good in the Carabao final either.
No. I watched their Betis games and they weren't great in them. Perez scored against them.
I'm going to say Barcelona away, they were pretty good.
Yeah, probably.
But it suited them to play that way, counter attack.
One game in 12.
Yeah, long, but it suited them, counter attack and hoofball to Rashford.
It's Rashford. It's honestly, they may as well call Manchester United Rashford FC.
It's papering over the cracks.
That's who they're relying on. Him and Rashford. That's all they're relying on. But actually, him, Rashford, and De Gea. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, De Gea made some big saves last night.
Right, let's not breathe too much life into Manchester United. This is a different.
Well, we're not. We're slagging them off as usual because we hate them. Jan says, "I have Paqueta all the same." Paqueta played well last night. He was. I mean, the battle with Bruno in the first half was really interesting. A couple of times, Paqueta got the better of him, and Bruno got the better of him next. It was intriguing. It died off second half. Yeah.
When did Paqueta get the better of Bruno?
No, there was a couple of times. I mean in challenging for the ball. There was a couple of times Paqueta came away with the ball, and he did. I'm being perfectly honest here. He did. I think Paqueta, his quality shone through, certainly first half, but I'd rather have Bruno any day of the week. But Paqueta and Bruno in the same midfield, like, very interesting. Yeah, they are.
The difference with Paqueta is he's a lot taller, so he's offers a bit something different.
Yeah, the Maradona turn.
Yeah. What a turn that was!
Absolutely superb. Yeah. Peter says, "Greetings from Sweden. What a game! I guess that the ironing done." 12-man Toon says, in my opinion, Declan Rice would be a landmark signing for the club. Signing a young England international who's got many years ahead of him. Fantastic player. It would be a really big signing, but I don't think the guys are really too confident he would come here.
I mean, I don't think he. It's possible.
I think it's possible to, if we've got Champions League football and we can offer him, a very, very good wage, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't come here.
Yeah. I think
money talks.
Arsenal's the only rival with that. I don't think City would go in that direction. I can't see it. I don't think Man United they've just got Casemiro, and I don't think you go to Man United. Chelsea have spent.
I don't think Man United have got the money, Alex. If I'm only honest.
Well, no. Well, Spurs are in a funny position. Who else have I missed? Liverpool. If they turn around and say to Klopp, "No, you're not getting 150 for a midfielder. There's no way." Like that leaves
Chelsea as well. Money.
No, but they've spent so much money. In my eyes, it's us and Arsenal. Unless he goes abroad, I would be surprised if he goes anywhere else. But unless they get their house in order before the end of the season, some of the other clubs maybe. But who knows?
One thing about Arsenal is they've got 2 CDMs, Partey and Xhaka, and with us, he's pretty much guaranteed more game time than Arsenal. So, as well, at the end of the day, money
throw money because they're going to win the league potentially. So they're going to have they could throw a lot of money at anybody, really.
League One and Champions League, so they've got probably like one more ahead of us after that.
Well, look, it's going to be very intriguing whatever happens in the summer. But Peter Bodfield, thank you very much for your 65 Swedish krona. He says, I love the way they play as a team. Doesn't matter what name is on the back of the jersey. They all play for the shield on the front. And Craig Johnson, thank you very much for your £5 super chat. He says, the West Ham fans were fuming after the game because Antonio was laughing when Callum said Newcastle are going to smash them back to the relegation zone. Yeah, it's not great at West Ham at the minute. I don't expect Moyes to be there too much longer, to be honest.
It's a very entertaining podcast, that, by the way. That
apparently they've said to Moyes, you've got one more game, and if you lose that, you're gone, and it's against Fulham.
Yeah, it's a big game, that is. Cockeyed Cyclops says, didn't get to see the game yesterday. Listen to Paul's excellent commentary. Get to see the game at 3 p.m. here in Utah.
Yeah, definitely watch it. It was a very good game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Kevin says, not sure where Maddison would fit in. Murphy, Miggy and Gordon can play right. Then Maxi, Joe Linton, Willock or Gordon on the left. Who comes out for Maddison to come in? Look, Kevin, I think what you need to say is, we will be improving the squad during the summer. There is better players out there than Murphy, than Miggy. Gordon has obviously been signed for long term. Maxi, we're unsure about, despite him playing really goals at the moment. But we are going to improve the squad. And just because we've played so well this season, it doesn't mean that we're not going to go out and get better players, especially if we incredibly make the Champions League. We will get much better players through the door. So that some of them won't be here next season. But
it's not just about
the way football works.
It's not just about improving the starting 11. It's about improving the bench as well. It's not just who will come in, who will come out. You got to improve the bench as well. It's not just about starting 11.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a new member, Craig Johnson. Thank you very much. Not sure if that's a renewing or a brand new membership, but welcome to Members Club again, Craig. Thank you very much for your support on the channel. Davey says, Paul, what's the crack for tomorrow night? Is it a preview or TTR Friday like last week? It's the preview. TTR Friday will be back next weekend. The preview does take priority over everything else, of course, because we are playing. Kev says, Rice applauded the Toon fans. He's coming to the Toon. I've heard a few people say that he actually he applauded the Newcastle fans. Very interesting. Spot on. Brentford will be a very hard game. Paul says Brentford were crap against Man United. Well, that's not what I've heard. I think the manager was disappointed with the result, but they could have got something from Old Trafford. Andrew says Redknapp talks out of his hoop. Fair enough. Brentford looked shite against Man United. It's a George. I'd love to know how it wasn't on telly. How was anybody?
I'm just having a look at them now.
It was
1.2 XG to Man United and 0.71 to Brentford. So not a huge amount in it. They both had one big chance. Brentford missed their big chance.
Well, De Gea saved it,
It was a poor finish, though. I mean, he should have done a lot better. He should have let it go. He should have shot way before he actually did, to be honest, and give himself more of a chance to hit the corner. Didn't happen like that. Chris says, can we ever start with Wilson and Isak, Billy?
No, I don't think so, but you never know.
If worse comes to worse.
I think that would only happen, as Jack's just said, if worse comes to worse and we needn't to get a goal or we're losing the game, then yes, he'll put them both on. We look back to was it the Fulham game where we were struggling to get a winner, and Wilson ended up assisting Isak's goal. So yes, if needs be, there will, but he won't start with the two of them. I don't think that will ever happen
unless we've got 6 broken wingers at the same time.
Yeah. Indeed. 12th man says ASM's assist was terrific. He purposely took it to his weak foot as well. Loved that bit of play from him. It was a brilliant cross. It was absolutely. Well. I mean, listen, we said last night, if that was Callum Wilson a couple of months ago or a couple of weeks ago, he may have headed that wide of the post because his confidence was rock bottom. But because he scored at the weekend, I think that's just given him an impetus to get more goals. And it was an absolute beautiful header. I mean, yes, he was unmarked, but as a striker, you've still got work to do to put that in the net out of the goalkeeper's reach, and he did that. It was brilliant,
and the direction as well on the header.
Yeah, in the corner, out the way of the goalkeeper. You've got Fabianski didn't move because he couldn't. There's a fine line between arrogance and confidence. He's confident. Yeah, he is. Isak undoubtedly. I don't look at Alexander Isak and think he's arrogant. Not at all. You don't get that impression of him when he's in the dressing room. You see the pictures in the dressing room and things like that. He's like the rest of the lads, and I think I think they've got that kind of unity in there now that he is just one of the lads. He loves it, and it's brilliant.
I don't know why, but when Isak first signed, I got the impression that he's very shy. I don't know why. I just got that impression.
He does look a little bit,
but now he's looking a bit more. He's looking a bit more. He's looking a bit more in place now.
Well, Alex and Billy, you'll remember this. When he first signed, I think there was an incident outside of the Hilton Hotel, and he didn't sign any autographs, and we were having a little bit of a dig at him, and I look back and think, that wasn't right, really. He just come to the club, and he's a young guy. He's still a kid, really, and it was. But now that's a long time ago.
You got to remember, this is what I used to say as well when we, before we started signing a bunch of players, and when we were talking about Ekitike and stuff. These lads have come from abroad. Even though Isak speaks great English because he's from Sweden, he's probably never lived in the UK before. Doesn't have, childhood friends here. You're basically starting your life again. You've got to give these lads a bit of time to adapt.
It's a big stage of his life, and I think from my point of view, you learn from things like that, don't you? Craig Johnson, thanks for another £10 super chat. He says that membership was a renewal, bud. Haven't been on for a while as my mum's been in hospital seriously ill, and my brother has also had ulcerative colitis and had to have a bag fitted into his stomach, so it's been a hard time. Buddy, give your best wishes to your mum and brother, mate, and keep us posted, but just send them our love from the Toon Review. Ian says Isak's goal looked like he was playing footy ping pong. It was crazy. It was absolutely
funny.
Crazy.
You should say that. They have installed foot tennis.
Yeah, I know they have. Yes, I was coming on to that, but I'll let you say it. Up the A1, thank you for your £5 super chat. He says, hi, Paul. Great commentary as usual. Spot on with your take on it all. Appreciate the mods attempt to block the spoilers. It'd be good if the chat was synced. Yeah, there's nothing we can do, unfortunately. If people are going to put spoilers in, the mods will throw them out if they do make a spoiler, but we don't know they're going to do a spoiler before it happens. So go on, Alex.
Well, it was just the ping pong reference. It just reminded me. There's pictures of the new training ground compared to what it used to look like, and obviously we've got some videos and photos from the club of the lads playing foot tennis. Now they've had that installed with the little net, and technique wise, that's exactly how you play foot tennis. So it's no surprise that you improve the training ground and the facilities, and the lads are going to improve technically. The funding is very important. Oh, we've lost Paul.
Swipes. He's probably swiped.
Kevin Keegan used to do that. He used to play head tennis when Kevin Keegan was in charge. McDermott used to take on everyone. No one could beat him, apparently.
Seriously, I need to get a proper mouse because every time I swipe on this, it kicks me out. Honestly, stupid.
Told it.
All right, shut up. Tom says, did anyone hear Simon Jordan earlier saying he was wrong about Eddie Howe and giving a lot of praise?
Change his tune.
Yeah, he has changed his tune, and well, so he should, because he was completely bang out of order. Yeah.
If we were eighth in the league, he'd be slandering Newcastle. But now we're third, and every other person's giving us credit. He needs to jump on. He's jumping on the bandwagon. I hate him.
The third goal, Billy. We were chatting at halftime, looking for a big turnaround, and it was everything that West Ham had said in that dressing room went to shit within 20 seconds. I'm not sure a guard, he didn't even see Murphy coming. But brilliant from Murphy. He was in like a shot to pinch that ball and kept his cool. People can say, it was an easy pass to Callum Wilson, but they can go wrong. And he squared it. Wilson puts it in. And all the good work West Ham did, it whacked their confidence completely, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a complete momentum stopper, wasn't it, for them? David Moyes obviously give the team talk. Might not have even seen the goal. He was walking out, saw it, dropped to his knees virtually in disgust. But it was fantastic from Jacob Murphy to press that hard. Gerd didn't really want the ball there, really. Fabianski should have been a bit more alert, I think. But there you go. That's football. And Jacob Murphy did the right thing, squared it to Callum Wilson, net to net, job done. 3-1, game over, really, wasn't it?
Yep, absolutely. NUFC Ollie says, will there be commentary on the Brentford game, Paul? Will it bring 3 p.m.? Absolutely. I will be commentating on the game. I'll be on live on Saturday afternoon, so you will get full commentary of the Brentford game right here on the Toon Review. Wow, we've got wow. We got a troll in, guys.
We've got about 6 trolls in.
Yeah, we got a lot.
Are they hammers or are they bees?
Oh no! Well, I don't know who they are, mate. To be honest, I don't
Red
think
Devils.
Listen, they're definitely not Hammers fans, because Hammers fans aren't like that, and neither are Brentford. To be honest, this is just. He is one of them. Wow. Yeah.
That was the second lot. There's been another lot since then. I think there might be Russian trolls.
Okay, even.
Well, surely it can't be Mackems. Francisco. Magnificent to have you back, mate. I'm going to drop you an email because I've been worried about you. We haven't seen you for a while. It's great to have you back in the chat. Michael was in the chat last night, which was great to see again. Yes, he was. Thank you very much, guys. Francisco, welcome back, and I hope you're doing well. Obviously, I'll speak to you off air and get back in touch. So great to see you, buddy. Kevin says some West Ham defenders had the ultimate Castore last night. It was magnificent. Yes, they will. And I'm sure Mr. Moyes will be having a little conversation with some of them this morning. Billy says, just got here. Brilliant commentary last night, Paul. Thank you very much. Colin says, Isak had learned a lot from Ibrahimovic, from one great Swede to another, to carry that torch. I'd love to know what they were talking about. I've just seen the other one, Billy. I would have loved to have seen the conversation between Isak and Ibrahimovic away on Swedish duty, because I wonder if they spoke much about Newcastle. And I wonder if Ibrahimovic will have said to him, how are you getting on in Newcastle? What's it like, kind of thing. I wish I'd played for them. You reckon, Billy?
Every chance of it. He played it, didn't he, when he was at Man United, surely?
Yeah.
Must have done.
Must have
played against us at one of the games.
Yeah, absolutely. Malcolm says, well, Paul, you said someone was due a thumping. We certainly thumped the Hammers. We did. Callum Wilson podcast is called the Footballers Football Podcast.
Indeed,
yes. Guys, we've got over 1,050 watching tonight, so thank you very much for all your views on this Thursday night. Honestly, you guys are just incredible. You really are. Please do smash that like button for us, because it does help the channel with the algorithm of YouTube. And of course, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, please come and become part of this wonderful community that we have on the Toon Review by hitting that subscribe button. It is free to do so. And then hit the bell as well, which will notify you when we go live or we upload any videos. And of course, you can donate to the channel, as so many wonderful people have already done tonight, by hitting that $ at the bottom of the live comments. Now, just before we go into the player ratings, guys, the goal that we conceded last night, I've seen various pundits throughout the day say that it was Nick Pope should have done better. not many people actually saying that, Botman lost his man or whatever it was. Where do you stand, Jack, on that goal that we conceded? It was a poor one, really.
It was poor, and it was a real blow because 5-1 it looks good, but 5-0 would have looked so much better. But for me, I think it's Botman, if I'm being quite frankly honest. Because looking at it, yes, Pope didn't have to come out for it. He could have stayed on his line. But looking at Sven Botman marking Zuma ran away from him like the flash, and Botman didn't know where he was, and Botman just completely lost him. And then Zuma with a free header. I looked at it in the replay. I'm like, who's marking him there? And I saw Botman losing. And I'm like, Botman, you got to do better there. But yeah, for me, I lay it on Botman.
Yeah, those are the things that Botman will improve on, though, in time, won't he? I mean, he's let's face it,
it's the first time he's done it.
It is. Yeah,
I'm
not particularly worried about it, to be honest.
I mean, it's just one of those things. Blame both. Yeah, both were at fault.
Yeah,
both can be true.
I think Nick Pope will know 100% that. There's another one in.
I think he got caught flat-footed because he wasn't expecting Zuma to be so free.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a foul on him or anything like that. It was just what happened. It's just one of those things. But we move on, I guess, and it's just. But go on, Jack.
Them sort of stuff need to happen in order to improve. So I think it's like James says there, he's only human. So I think in somewhat we're glad that happened. Seeing Mertens Botman's first time, so we can look at it and improve.
He's a motor vehicle, isn't he? He's a Rolls Royce.
Oh, he's a Rolls Royce, of course he is. I keep forgetting about that. But yeah, he will improve 100%.
A lot of people are saying it was, you can look at both. I think from the way it happened, but. Let's be honest here. It doesn't matter. We still got another a wonderful goal difference on the teams around us. So it just improved by a +4 last night, which is the main things. Right, we'll move on to player ratings because this should be a very interesting player ratings section of the show. Guys, as usual, join us in the comments to see what you think about the. What we do, and sometimes we do cause a bit of uproar with each other, never mind in the chat, as Alex proved the other day with his marking of share. But we'll that's in the past.
I think I was justified about me as well. Because you look at it, I left room for an increased rating, and he had a better performance last night. Whereas, where are you guys going to go? You can't go up anymore. But last night was better. Share had a better game against West Ham than he did against Man United. But you've boxed yourself in with a 10 now. So
well, I haven't because
not really. You can score one goal to get a 10, and then next week you score 20 goals. You still get a 10. This is what I get.
Yeah. And I didn't give him a 10.
My head.
I didn't give him a 10.
Did you not give him a 10?
No, I've got Billy did, but I've got room to manoeuvre. Sunshine. Anyway, let's start off with Nick Pope. Alex, we'll start with you tonight. Nick Pope.
6. I feel like if there's the whole thing that you keep mentioning. If he's not got much to do, we'll give him a 7 because it's only fair. I feel like he did a little bit less than that last night. It's a 6.
Yeah.
That he could have done better with the goal. He needs to be a little bit better with his feet. We didn't really see it in the first 10 to 15 games of the season. But, since the turn of the year, we have seen certain occasions where he's a little bit nervous. You can see he's nervous
there
about
was
making
times in that
mistake.
First half he kicked it straight out of play, to be fair.
He's nervous about making another mistake. You can see it. He's not as confident. He's trying to get rid of it a fraction of a second too early, and it's going out, or he's doing little slips here and there. I mean, if 5 is average, I'll give him a 6 because he was solid for the rest of it. A couple of good saves. Yeah.
I'm going with a 6 as well. I totally agree with everything Alex has said there. I think if for me, I'm looking more at Nick Pope than I am Botman for the goal because I think Nick Pope mistimed his jump. And had Nick Pope got a hand to it, it would have cleared out for a corner anyway. So the goal wouldn't have happened whether Botman was on his man or not. I think the goalkeeper if he's coming for that, he has to make sure he gets there. It's the same with everything. If a goalkeeper makes a decision to come and get that ball, he has got to make sure he gets it, or it could lead to a goal. And unfortunately for Popey last night, it did. So he gets a 6 from me. Billy Bob?
Yeah, I don't think Pope's looked the same goalkeeper since the Liverpool incident, to be honest. I think he's looked shaky, lack of confidence, maybe a little lack of confidence. 6 is a fair score for me. I agree 100% with that. 6 out of 10, yeah.
Okay. Of course, he did make the save from Paqueta's free kick, which was a very good save. Down was right, but it's a save I'd expect him to make.
Well, that's why he didn't get a 5.
Yeah.
Because he made a couple of good saves.
Yeah. Jack?
Yeah, totally agree. 6. Partly to blame from the corner incident, but yeah, we'll need to be better with his feet. I totally agree with that. So yeah, 6.
Cool. We have a new member, Jordan Long. Welcome to Members Club, matey. Thank you for your support of the channel. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, Ian said it. He agrees with me about Nick Pope coming out. If someone's blocking him as a goalkeeper, you take them out. You just go to get that ball. It doesn't matter who's in your way. If you make that decision to get the ball, you have to make sure you get a hand on it. He did it in the second half. He came out and made a punch and got a good punch to it and cleared the box, which is what he should have done not got a punch on it because it was a high looping ball. So push it away for a corner. That's what should have happened. It didn't. But hey, by the by. Right, we move to the captain, Kieran Trippier. Jack, we'll start with you.
I'm going to give him a 10. I think he was superb yesterday. Made some brilliant switches to Maxi. I think he definitely tried to utilise Maxi a lot yesterday in the first half, getting him on the left-hand side, getting him running at defenders. Brilliant switches, and I feel like he defended very well. So I don't think he put a foot wrong, really. So I'm going to give him a 10. Interesting.
There is a lot of 9s in the chat. I'm going to give him a 9. I don't think he was up at a 10 level quite. However, I'm not going to point off because some of his corners and crosses were horrific again, hitting the first man and things like that. He's got to improve that, or we need somebody else taking them just to give Kieran Trippier, just mix it up a little bit, because we do have other players on the pitch that can take set pieces. I don't see why it has to be Kieran all the time. But listen, defensively, superb. He made one interception, which would have seen Cornet go in on goal. And it was just superb defending. He read the pass. He cut across. He knew that Fabian Schär wouldn't get there. He cut across to cover the angle and made a brilliant block. But Kieran Trippier is just superb all round. He really is. He's just a class act. The way he talks, the way he plays, very satisfied. Billy, Kieran Trippier.
It's a tough one because it's between 9 and 10 for me. The set pieces weren't great, although one did lead to a goal indirectly. Some of his passing there was absolutely phenomenal last night, and his control of the ball in difficult circumstances. The interception that you've just alluded to there was phenomenal. His defending was great. It really was. I'm going to give him a 10.
Okay. Alex?
I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give him a point for his defending and his interceptions. I thought they were great. Some of his deliveries were excellent. And then some of his passing was great, and some of his overall play was great. So that bumps it up to an 8. But there were a lot of deliveries that were well under par, first man, and he was part of the sloppy passing in the first half an hour that was causing us so many issues. 78% pass accuracy. So he goes up from a 5 up to an 8 for all of the positives, but I can't give him any more because he was part of the problem. If Eddie Howe pulls you over and screams at you, you're not innocent. So he had a great game, but I personally can't give him more than an 8. And I agree. I think we need an alternate set piece taker just to mix things up. Somebody left-footed, just maybe if Target gets the start at Brentford, he can take a couple of corners and the odd set piece, give us a different angle.
Interesting. Some people agreeing with you, Alex. Some people saying you need a Snickers again. So yeah.
Well, if his passing hadn't have gone away in the first half an hour, and his delivery had been a lot more consistent, he would have been a 10. It was that's kept it at an 8 for me. I think that's fair. You can't give somebody a 10 when there was things wrong with his game, surely. Yeah. It's the definition of a 10. It's a perfect game.
What was that, Jack?
You're not you when you're hungry, Alex.
You're not you when you're hungry.
A 10 is a perfect game. Was that his perfect game? No, I don't think it was.
Yeah, we were poor first half. Sophia says, Tyneside Life was saying now transfer budget for the summer is only about 70 million. Look, he's going off figures done. I see what Eddie's done there with the working out and stuff. Listen, our transfer budget for the summer will be what is necessary. Simple as that.
And I've said anything new.
Yeah, I've said that all along. We've got new sponsors coming in. We could be in the Champions League. That will make a massive difference to our budget. So we can't say for definite what our budget is going to be right now because, we may be in the Champions League. We'll have new sponsors, different revenue coming in the bank. It's you can't say what it is at the minute. But I watched the video myself. It was an excellent video, as it usually is from Eddie, and chatting and seeing where the figures came from. But those are figures that we already have. They're not what is expected to come in if we make the Champions League, etc. So, let's not finish. If we finish third or fourth in the Premier League, we get tremendous prize money for that position as well as finishing in the Champions League. So it may make a massive difference to our budget. Yeah, absolutely. Dressman says Alex is a great heel for this channel. He tends to bring everybody back down to earth in a stato way. Right, so we move to the left back now, and Dan Burn. I'm going to start with Dan Burn, and I'm going to give him a 4. I'm really sorry, but I thought he was dreadful last night. And listen, I love Dan Burn. I said that during the commentary. I think the passion he has for Newcastle United, being his hometown club, is wonderful. But everybody is allowed to have a bad game. But what I'm looking forward to seeing is how he responds to that poor game, because there's no doubt in my mind he'll know he wasn't good last night. The amount of times that he gave the ball away. I think he took a throw it directly to Jared Bowen in the first half. I just couldn't understand that. And then the one where he runs it out to play in the second half. But Jared Bowen had him on toast all game. His passing was all over the place. Even his heading was just, the accuracy wasn't there. It was just an all-round poor game from Dan Burn. But listen, I'm only judging him on last night. He's had a wonderful season. And, I know 4 might be a bit harsh, but that's just the way I think. And what I saw from him last night just wasn't good enough. Billy.
Look, he's knackered. He's played every single game, not had a day off. Even when the centre halves were being rested, he was filling in at centre half. And I know when you play sport and you've got massive games followed by another game 3 days later on, you get really up for the massive one. It's hard to stay up for the next 3 days, and you could have a bit of a come down. I think 4's a little bit harsh, but I think 6 is. I'm going to give him a 5 because I thought it wasn't just his actual defending; his passing was horrific last night. Horrific, but he never hid. So I'm going to give him a 5.
James says I'm harsh giving him a 4, but there is a lot of 4s in the chat come up. Some even a 3. Jack, what do you reckon?
I agree with Billy. I'm giving him a 5.
Okay, fair enough. Alex?
Well, I start my ratings on a 5, so I don't know how anybody can give him a 5. Because if I'm starting him on a 5 and then factoring in what he did wrong, that takes him down to a 3, in my opinion. And I'll end it up. I'm going to put it on a 4 overall because of the 6 tackles, the clearances, and I could see positionally he was trying to attack more, which I respect. You could see he was trying to do more. It just didn't work, which it happens. But I appreciated he was making a lot more effort to get forward last night. But it was just an absolute shocking performance. But I agree, probably very tired on top of it. He's played all the minutes. He needs a rest. I'm sure he'll be fine. But yeah, 4. I can't give him any higher than that.
Fair enough.
I don't know how you lads down there have given him a 5. I don't get it.
Well, perhaps our scoring's different to yours, Alex.
Yeah, Billy and Jack could start them. Billy and Jack could start them on a 6. Yeah,
or 7.
Yeah, everyone has different ways of doing it.
Halfway between zero, but that makes no sense.
It might make sense to Billy and Jack.
You can't have an opinion on 0 to 10. That's not how that works.
Hang on, just because you're the stato, right?
What about opinions, Alex?
The numbers, man.
You can't have an opinion on 0 to 10. That is just how it works.
Well, I didn't think he was awful. I didn't think he was great, so I'll give him a 5.
If we're going to do the ratings on bad average and good, then yeah, fine.
Yeah,
that's
but
an opinion. But if we do it
yeah,
0 to
but
10,
Alex, if Billy's saying that he started on a 5, he's saying that he finished on a 5. So what is the problem with that?
He never hid. He kept going for the whole game, and until he was taken off, he never hid from it.
Yeah, he didn't. To be
fair,
tackles,
but 6 tackles. He was awful with the ball at his feet. He was awful a lot of the time. He was awful defending, but at the same time, did make 6 tackles. Did get forward, never hid once.
I mean, but that's why I didn't give him any lower than a 4 in my books. But that's fair. If you want to give him a 5, that's fine. I just don't understand how.
Well, you don't have to because you're not giving the rating. Anyway, Mrs. Toon Review says, come on, Jack Spicer. Yeah, Susan has done a little anime of Jack as some kind of Jack Spicer, whoever that is in the States, I think it is.
Class.
Magpie says, you can have an opinion on 0 to 10. That's called measurement and is the basis of science. Back to school for Alex.
Literally can't.
Interesting. Just saying, Glenn, there's no need for slagging Alex off for calling people. Yeah. There's no need. People have got their opinions. Don't call anybody mugs and stupid things like that.
Numbers are numbers. You can't change them.
Paul says, so Alex is ignoring the positive Spurn did. I'm sorry, he didn't do any
I literally factored them in. I literally said he got 6 tackles and was really positive attacking, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, but hang on.
Switch your ears off on that positive
6 tackles is fair enough, but I didn't think there was many positives from Dan Burn last night.
I said more positives than Paul did. And, he's not getting anything.
And that's somebody who really admires Dan Burn. So, you'll never win with everybody, to be honest. Right,
Castore's in the chat tonight. Massive.
We'll start off with Sven Botman, Billy.
He was his usual self. His passing at times was pretty ropey, to say the least. I do like that pass he plays for the middle of the park, though. Firm, crisp passes to whoever it may be, Willock or Joe Linton. I love that pass he does, as well as the one where...
a little...
Yeah, he really pings it. It's a ping pass. I love it. I did it last night a few times. However, a few times he did lose the ball through errant passing, and he's partly at fault for the goal.
Yeah, fair enough.
6 for me.
Okay. Cushy says, I bet Stato uses a rule when he makes a paper plane. Oh, my God. Dear me. Naomi says, the only thing I'm calling a mug is whatever my hot drinks are in. Exactly, Naomi. Well said. Well said indeed. Alex, Sven Botman, mate.
I think a 6 is fair. If I start him on a 5, he gets positives for his passing range and some of the stuff he did. But then the mistake for the goal and everything, yeah, it's a 6. So some positives, some negatives. But again, he dragged it back. He managed to get his passing accuracy back up to about 80%. He made double the accurate passes that Dan Burn did. He played some killer balls in, but then, at fault a little bit for the goal and was a bit sloppy at times. So I can't give him any more than a 6.
Lee says, after a 5-1 win, the whole squad deserves 10 out of 10. These lads give their all every game, give 100% for the shirt. Yeah, they'll give 100% effort, Lee, but that doesn't mean they were 10 out of 10. And I think if we give everybody a 10, I think it would look a bit silly, given some of the performances last night. Sven Botman, for me, also, I'm going with a 6 for exactly the same reason the lads have. Jack?
I'm giving him a 7. I feel like that tackle he did on Antonio when he was running through, I think was very good. Some of his passing was not very good. I think, brilliant tackle. And made it go out for a goal kick as well, which is even better. And also that pass, he went to Trippier that nearly went out, but Trippier recovered it. I feel that wasn't very good.
Yeah, that was very unlike him, wasn't it?
Yeah, very, very unlike Botman. But listen, they can all have a one-off game. Just needs to improve on against Brentford. But yeah, I feel like there were some positives and there were some negatives, including the goal. But I feel like a 7's good enough for me.
Okay. Fabian Scher. Alex, we'll start with yourself.
I think he probably deserves a 10, really. I mean, it's close. It's a 9 or a 10. I'll be nice and I'll give him a 10. For the assist, it was absolutely golden. Duel-wise, West Ham are not small. Antonio and Souček and Rice, they're all powerful. The centre-backs are powerful. He won 10 duels out of like 13 or 14. 5 interceptions, 4 tackles, just an absolute freak of a performance. It was really, really good. A lot better. It's not very often. He's been outshone by Botman in 9 out of 10 of every appearance really. But this was one of the times where he outperformed Botman in passing, physicality, experience. It's nice. It's nice to see. He did really, really well. So I'll give him a 10.
Yeah. Okay. Billy?
I think 10's fair. I think that pass was just a fantastic bit of vision, and the talent to be able to carry it off as well was brilliant. Defended really well. Liked his concern for the player he smacked in the face and went down with a head injury. I can't think who it was. Maybe it was Antonio.
Antonio.
Or not.
Antonio. Yeah.
I like that as well. Obviously he understands that site because he has it most weeks of the season, but it was quite, sympathetic with him for that, and I enjoyed that. 10 out of 10 for me. It was superb.
Yeah, Jack.
I agree. 10. That's just for Jolinton. Sublime. You got to think when they get that ball, they have about not even a few seconds to think about where they're going to place that pass, and to do it in that quick of a time and pick out Jolinton with that brilliant run. Brilliant. Yeah. And his defending was up to scratch, and I feel like a 10's a good score for him.
Cool. I'm giving him a 10 as well. I mean, everybody knows I love Fabian Schär, on a non-sexual way, of course. He's just absolutely superb. He was awesome last night. Right, moving into the midfield. We'll start with myself for Bruno, and he gets a 10 from me. I just thought he was superb. I mean, literally, even when we weren't playing well first half, he just, every time he gets the ball, he's just, some of the stuff he does with it is just magnificent. So, Bruno, a 10 from me. Jack?
Yeah, 10. I feel like when we started the game, he was slow as well, but he grew into the game when he started getting
giving no goal away, of course, didn't he? But
of course.
Luckily he hit the post.
I think my heart skipped a beat at that moment. The lovely turns to get away from the likes of Paqueta, to feed in the wings, and he's just a magical midfielder. And honestly, he's just, I don't have any words for him. He's just so good. Yeah. So 10, 100%.
Yeah. Alex?
Yeah, easy 10. Just outrageous. He got an assist again, which was incredible. His shot was darn close as well. Very, very good quality shot. 8 out of 9 long balls. He was a little bit deeper than he usually is. He kind of had a double role where he'd roam around the box and find the right pass, or he'd sit deep and just spray it. 8 long balls is ridiculous. 8 accurate long balls. His duels again against Rice and Souček, with Antonio coming back, that's a lot of physicality you've got to deal with. And he's a tiny Brazilian lad, and he just doesn't care. Just ridiculous. Yeah. It's just such a freak of a player. It's a 10. You can't. Yeah. It's crazy.
Billy?
Even things like simple square passes, 5 yards, he does it classily. Everything's class.
He looks everything look elegant, doesn't he? Yeah.
He's just a phenomenal player. And if he's not in the Premier League team at the season end of it, there's something wrong.
Absolutely.
He's just dominated the Man United midfield 3 days ago. He's gone to West Ham and he's dominated their midfield. Both good midfields on paper. And he's come out on top of both of them. 10 out of 10 all day long. Best midfield player in the league, I think.
Yeah. Southern Geordie says the result was better than the performance, although clinical finishing. Yeah, and Eddie alluded to that in his post-match interview, because he said, he talked about being clinical, and we haven't been that this season. That's one thing that he's wanted to improve about us, is being more clinical, and he certainly got that last night. King Hoddle, our resident Spurs fan, says, "Can you please stop winning games? It's beginning to annoy me."
Get used to it, lad. Get used to it
again.
Yeah. Absolutely, get used to it. Right, Sean Longstaff. Alex, we'll start with yourself on Sean.
I mean, he didn't do anything sort of headliney, but it was one of those grafty performances. Again, the longer range of passing and some of the intricate things. He was trying a couple of funny little back heels in the box. They're working on a lot of technical stuff with Sean. You can see that. I've been mentioning this for a couple of weeks now. He's definitely getting a little bit better week by week. Struggled a little bit physically in the first half. Again, it's a big midfield. Struggled to match Antonio's run, but once Antonio gets up to speed, he's an absolute tank.
He's quick.
But Longstaff against some of the better players in the league is doing really well. I've got to give him a rating though. I don't know what to give him. I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give him an 8 purely for some of the long range stuff, and just because he had a poor first half an hour, he could have gone missing and he didn't. He played the full 90 and got back into it, which is nice to see. So,
Jack.
I did love that little shoulder barge he did on Paqueta, just to like let him know he's there. Just have some of that, and Paqueta went absolutely. I think he landed on the moon that night. Yeah. So I love that, but yeah, I agree with Alex. 8.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an 8 as well. I thought his work rate is brilliant, but he is, like Alex said, he's trying different things now. Clearly, the coaching staff working on improving his game in every dimension, and I think it's results are being seen on the pitch. And in a way, you know, we thought that Sean Longstaff had maybe hit his potential as to how far he can go, but I think he can get better. I really do. Billy?
That pass he made to Maxi for that fantastic move, if that had been some of the finest passes I've ever seen.
Well, if that had been Bruno, we would have been raving about it, wouldn't we, to be fair?
Hoddle, Gascoigne, whoever Beckham, whoever you want to choose from the past, the commentators have been raving about it, and they didn't really make much of an issue of it. However, I do notice that there is a lot of praise for Longstaff coming from the press now and the media, televised media. Last night he's got a real massive engine on him, that kind of thing, and he has. He's covered every game, even 3 days after that massive effort on Sunday. He covered every blade of grass again, and that pass was just phenomenal. 8 out of 10 is a good score for him, because at the beginning he was pretty sloppy, but it was a bit of a malaise. It was.
Well, they all were, weren't they? They all were. He wasn't the only one. So
before you move on, could I just point out as well? He ended up with 90% pass accuracy, despite being part of the sloppiness in the beginning. So the fact he's managed to drag it up at the end of the game back up to 90, he's compensated for it, really.
Yeah.
Stuart makes a very good point here, by the way. Without Longstaff doing the dirty work, Bruno would not be able to play the way he does. His work rate is so underrated. I 100% agree with that comment.
Excellent point.
Because he is helping Bruno massively in that department to give him a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit more time on the ball. And I think Bruno himself is very appreciative of that Bruno's not having to do all the dirty work. He can do the skillful things as well.
And this is when we talk about transfers. You know, if we want to buy somebody that's better than Longstaff, you can't just buy somebody that's technically better than Longstaff. They need to also be able to do his job in terms of work rate and who he's covering for and how he rotates positionally, surely.
There ain't many of them around. Either, are there?
That's expensive.
To have both of those qualities.
If you want somebody who can do what Longstaff can do and what Bruno can do in one, like...
It's like a Bellingham, that.
Yeah.
It is Bellingham, basically. It's Bellingham.
I'd seen somebody, some football site put on Twitter, was it today? Something about Liverpool being interested in snatching Bruno from Newcastle for £75 million. And
He's just started a family in Newcastle.
That won't even get Bruno's right foot, sunshine. Never mind anything else. Crazy. King Huddle says, I think you'll get third. You're a better team than Man United, defensively stronger and more dynamic overall.
100%.
Yeah, thank you for that. Stephen says, iron lung stuff. You called it on your channel. Indeed. He has got an iron lungs. There's no doubt about it, in my opinion, now. Right, we'll move on to Joe Linton. Jack.
He's just class, isn't he? He's really is. He's like having on FIFA a player with 99 defending, and no matter what you do from behind, from in front, he always wins the ball. It's kind of ridiculous. And he's just so good. He's good going forward. He's good defending. He's got a good work rate with him. He's just everything you want in a midfielder. 10.
Yeah, I'm giving him a 10 as well. 2 goals. That brilliantly taken first goal that he scored, because he could have lost concentration thinking, no, I'm going to be flagged offside here. So he could have just stopped and not bothered. But he put the ball in the net really well. And, as soon as we saw the replay, from the first time they brought the still image up, we knew he was onside. You could see that without any lines. Brilliant run. I thought his second goal was just brilliant, holding off Kurt Zuma like he did. Because let's face it, whatever we think of Kurt Zuma, he's a big, strong man, and he held him off, and it was a brilliant finish. So 10 for me, undoubtedly. Alex.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I think.
Well, don't sound too disappointed about that, Alex, that you're agreeing with me. I mean,
it's because I want to say something about his position. I think that's what we talked about. I think me and you, Paul, did a transfer show ages ago. This must have been well over a year ago. And we talked about the journey to get to where Man City are in terms of fluidity, in terms of having multi-positional players. It doesn't matter who's anywhere. They can all play wherever. And we've started to see that now, where Joe Linton spent a half in one half in midfield, and then he's gone up and played as a left winger and scored in both positions. And he's had experience at centre forward. We've got Isak, who can play anywhere. Bruno can go up and be an 8, a 10, a 6. Longstaff's rotating around. Trippier can be a midfielder or be a defender. Botman can go do whatever he wants. Share's comfortable. We're starting to see that change. And Joe Linton, I think, is literally, he is the original, I'm just going to do everything because I'm just really good at football and just a power athlete. And it's absolute stonking 10 just to play 2 or 3 positions in the same match and get a couple of goals. Complete. Just I keep saying freak, and I mean it in the nicest possible way. Just it's ridiculous how good.
There's actually a little video on social media tonight. I don't know who's put it out, but it's Big Joe in the gym. Doing some work in the gym, and he's
getting bigger.
What are you laughing at, Jack?
Stephen's comment.
Although do you remember in pre-season when he just came back
by
from
performances, but the cat is getting it tonight. Yeah. Sorry, Alex, go on.
Well, I was just saying, if anybody can remember pre-season, I think he went on holiday for like 3 or 4 weeks, and he came back a lot heavier. Because he'd obviously put a little bit of body fat on, but he was really lean anyway. But he was literally, he must have been well over 100 kilos. It was an absolute monster.
He's a beast.
And then he got sent off against Benfica.
Yeah, he did. Lawrence, good evening, mate. Hope you're well. Billy?
2 points. Firstly, big up to the linesman for not putting his flag up, because we've seen it this season where they've put the flag up way ahead of time. He didn't do it. He played it in the way that the Wolves are supposed to be played. He put it up after he'd scored. So big up for him for that. That run was fantastic. The finish was fantastic for both goals. He wouldn't have scored those as a number 9 2 seasons ago. Absolutely no doubt about it. It wouldn't have happened. But that's full of confidence. He's good, and he's just a phenomenal freak of nature.
Him, just absolutely love him.
10 out of 10.
Just love him. Right, we'll move to the front 3. We'll start with Jacob Murphy, Alex.
I think he deserves a better score this week because he's also, got an assist. So I think I'm going to give him sort of a Longstaff type rating. I'm going to give him an 8. Really, really important pressing. Really, really important for how we played. Unlucky not to get on the score sheet himself. Got the assist. Possibly I'm doing him a bit dirty there, and he might even deserve a 9. I think I might give him a 9.
A lot of the chat are agreeing with you on an 8.
Yeah, I think he might, but purely based on the pressing as well. If I factor in the assist, nearly getting the goal, and the pressing, I'll give him a 9. Why not? I think he's been massively underrated. We've lost Miggy, and Murphy's just come in, and it's not an issue. We're not talking about him at all being a problem. He's just playing fine, like every game. I'm going to give him a 9.
2-0 to the Lionesses, guys.
No, we played the first one.
Oh, you divvy git, Billy. Honestly,
you're our celebrating.
You're our Chris Kamara of this channel. Sometimes you are. Billy, there's been a sending off, has there?
I thought it was substituted.
Weren't paying attention, Jeff.
Oh dear. Anyway, Billy, Jacob Murphy.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 for me. And he's very important to the team with his pressing. He just doesn't stop running all day long, does he? And he also contributes to our attacking play as well, very well. Got a nice understanding with Trippier and Longstaff. Just basically took over the biggie role, except he gets crossing with his right foot. Yeah, he's an integral part of the side now. And it's hard to see him being dropped for Miggy when he comes back fit, to be honest. Even though he's not scoring the goals, he's contributing in other ways, isn't he? So
we've got rotation there now, though, which is massive. Is Murphy right-footed? I don't know why he tried the chance with his left when it was a right-footed chance. What? It wasn't a right-footed chance.
You got to take it on the first.
He had to take it on his left foot. He couldn't have taken it on his right.
The ball on his right, it'd have been clattered.
Yeah,
it was a bit weird.
Didn't have time to turn and
your
shoot.
body.
Yeah. Listen, it was a good save at the end of the day. Well, and like I said, what he was trying to do was put the ball back from where Fabianski had come from, which is the normal thing to do. But Fabianski kept his position quite well. I'm going to give him a 9 as well. I thought he was really good. Again, he got an assist, which he made that assist for himself by the press, which he's becoming so well known for. Didn't give a guard any time on that ball. He was in like a shot and kept his head to just square it nicely, put the right kind of pace on the ball across to Wilson to tap it home. So 9 for me, Jack.
Yeah, totally agree. 9. I feel like if he just got that goal, it would have bumped him up to a 10. But the pressing was on point yesterday. The assists, they're not easy, them ones, because Wilson could fumble it, because sometimes that happens. You can't keep your eye on the ball. But yeah, Murphy was good yesterday, running down the wing, getting some crosses in. So yeah, 9.
Good stuff. Right, we'll move to the other side. And there's just a comment coming about Maxi last night. Finally realised he doesn't have to score every game. Far better to make more goals and miss less. I think there was once in the first half where the ball came to him. I think Trippier had put a high ball in and it came to him. I don't know why he didn't shoot. I don't know whether you guys can remember this. He tried to square it for Bruno, but put it too far in front of Bruno to score. That is the occasion that I was screaming out to shoot. But then the one in the second half, I mean, what a save that was, by the way. Literally fingertip save. Otherwise, that was nestling in the corner. I'm giving Maxi a 9 for last night. Had that goal gone in, he would have got a 10. Simple as that. I thought, he was quiet-ish in the first half. But second half, he was just picking the ball up and running at them again, causing them all sorts of problems. And when Maxi's in that kind of form, he just looks brilliant to watch. But one thing I will say is he looks so much fitter. He looks like he's 100% fit now. He doesn't have any niggles. He's going for it. And that makes a massive difference to his game. Jack?
Yeah, agree. We definitely utilised him a lot yesterday in terms of getting him to run at defenders a lot more, causing them havoc. And that shot, so close. I would have loved him to get a goal. Really boost his confidence even more. But to get an assist as well on his left foot as well, we don't normally see that from Maxi. 2 assists in 2 games, not a bad score for Maxi that, and he's definitely proving a lot of people wrong. But yeah, again, top class performance, 9.
Billy?
I would give him a 10. I thought it was absolutely superb. I thought he had Paul Carer, who needed the carer's allowance last night, certainly.
He was terrible. He's awful, him. He is god-awful.
No one knows where he's going, whether he's going inside or outside.
Yeah,
he can get the cross on the left foot. The assist was phenomenal also. Lovely bit of trickery on the far side. Great cross, pinpoint cross. And that shot second half was just great. And his involvement in that Murphy effort was phenomenal too. So 10 out of 10. Consistency, that's what we're finally seeing now with Maxi. And long may it continue.
Yep. Alex?
Yeah, I'm going to give a 10.
Okay.
I think if I'm giving Murphy a 9, I've got to give Maxi a 10 because of the difference in quality of the assists. The Maxi assist was amazing. You've got to think in the last 2 games, he should have had 4 assists. He put Willock on a plate last game and he's put Murphy on a plate. Fair enough, it was a good save, but he could have been walking away with 4 assists from 2 games. And this is what he offers when he's in this form, which is why I've been beating this drum forever. And I will not stop beating this drum because why not? The last few games we've been playing, we have Maxi and Murphy run their hearts out for 65 minutes. Boom. Joe Linton or Willock or Gordon. And then we keep going. Turn the screw. Kill them off. It works so well. Why would we not? And yeah, I agree with you, Paul. He stopped shooting as much and he's passing it around a bit more. Decision making has improved a lot. I think this is important to remember, though. Like you said, he's not injured now. He's fully fit. It's taken him a while. So remember this, because he will get injured again, because everybody gets injured. Give him a chance to get up to full speed again, because then he's going to be contributing to the team. Not every player is the same.
Clarky, I don't know whether you've been on the happy backy the night, mate, but Maxi is 6. Give Howe.
And old angry noob gamer. He's off it as well.
We should have had 3 assists Sunday.
Maxi gets a 5 if that. I think they're winding up.
He should have had 3 assists Sunday, and he could have easily had 4 last night, couldn't he? Because he got 1 and another 3 on top of that. Yeah, it was phenomenal.
So all of this end product, that's your end product. There you go.
Yeah. Frau, thank you for another $9.99 super chat. He says, I think Maxi is benefiting from delivering the ball and not being hacked because he's holding on to it too long. Yeah, he's getting rid of it quicker. That's for everybody to see.
And did you notice as well, he didn't have 3 people on him all game.
Exactly. Yeah. He benefit from not being doubled up on the past 2 games. Definitely.
Right. Callum Wilson. Jack.
I think he played very well. I'm gonna give him a 10. He did everything a number 9's supposed to. He dropped deep, played in the wings, and got 2 goals. That's what you want. That's what you want your number 9 to do. Get the goals, feed in the wingers, get in the box, finish. And he did all that yesterday. 9. Okay. No, 10. 10.
I'm going to give him a 9 because I still don't think he was brilliant. I know he scored 2 goals, and that's what he's there to do, right? But his link-up play is just not there where you watch Isak do it, and it's not the same. He gets the ball, he turns and he runs, but the few times he did that yesterday, he lost the ball. But listen, a 9's not a bad score at all, and 2 goals really is fabulous.
You've gone that way because I'm going to go the same way.
It's just, yes, he's, like I say, he scored 2 goals, but you have to look at what else he did, to bring players in and things like that. And I just thought he's still not 100% there yet, but he's getting there, and that's a massive, massive bonus for us. Alex.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I thought I was going to get crucified for giving him a 9, but I'm going to give him a 9 as well for that. I feel harsh giving him a 9, but for exactly the same reasons you said. The pressing, running with the ball, getting pushed off a little bit easily, and just but the finishing is absolutely quality, and he's getting his confidence back. So that's great. So he gets a 9 for the goals. They were outstanding. But I still want to see more in terms of fitness, pace, physicality, bit more pressing. Hopefully it'll come back now. We've got rotation with Isak. He can rest a bit more. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yep.
And it's good to have 2 strikers in form as well.
It is 100%, definitely. Good point, Billy.
I think he's been harshly done to because we have Isak now, and he's so much more of a better player than what Wilson is. And Wilson's actually modified his game a little bit. He's not the dynamic striker that we had before because we've got a more dynamic striker, and so he looks slower. 2 good goals last night. One was a tap in, one was a great header. I think 9's a fair score for him, to be honest, because he didn't contribute much else, to be honest.
Yeah. But that'll come. I mean, look, his job is to score goals at the end of the day, and he bagged 2. So we can't take that away from him. So it's good to see him getting on the score sheet. I mean, he's got 3 goals in 2 games. I mean, normally we'd say that's incredible. So, he's coming back, and that's good to see when everybody, I saw that he tweeted out today saying everybody thought I was finished with a little highlight reel of his goal. So, he's aware of what he needs to do. There's no doubt about it. But
can I just point out before we move on from him as well that I think there was something released today that if Isak gets another couple, we then get 3 goal scorers into double figures for the first time since I think it was 1976.
Isn't we didn't manage it though? Since 1976, you look at the teams we've had and the strikers we've had. It's bizarre. Mind you, I mean, the year Andy Cole scored most of the goals himself. One season, I think it was 41. He got, was it 41 or 42 goals?
41 with Biz. He got 20 odd that season.
He did. Yeah.
The closest we got recently would have been Bar, Cisse, and Ben Arthur, but Ben Arthur was not quite close enough.
Yeah. Right, on to the substitutes now, and he made. Did he make 3 in a row?
5.
Yeah, but he initially 3.
Tripled. He tripled at once, didn't he? They bought 4 and we bought 3 on.
So
Gordon, Joe, Willock, was it?
Yeah,
he tripled and 1 and 1.
Yeah, well, we're not going to get. I mean, listen, Target came on for like 3 minutes.
2 minutes.
Manquillo got minutes.
He did. I made a very good headed interception back to
some
the
of my family members went, "Who's that? Poor guy." I felt so sorry for him.
Yeah, but isn't it great that they're still, they're still just as you see them in the dressing room though, and they're just as happy as the players that have been playing, and it's awesome. But I mean, look, we'll start with Anthony Gordon because I think nobody has pointed out his role in that Isak goal, because he made a sliding tackle and managed to keep the ball in, roll it to Trippier into Bruno, bang over the top, goal. It was brilliant. And I think Gordon is starting to show the fans what probably Eddie Howe has already seen in him. These last couple of games that he's made substitute appearances, he's definitely pushing for a start, which is exactly what Eddie Howe will have asked him to do. Go and prove to me why you should be on the starting in the starting 11. So he gets a 9 from me because I thought he was brilliant when he came on. Now we'll quickly go around the table for the substitutes. Jack.
I think. Oh,
Gordon.
Yeah, 8. I'm going to give him an 8.
Okay. Right.
I think that tackle was brilliant. He kept it in play. And his work rate is brilliant. And he's doing the job. He's not just there to score goals, is he? He's there. He's been asked the job and he's done it. So, yeah, 8.
Absolutely. Frau, thank you for another $9.99. He says, when was the last time we finished above both Man United and Liverpool?
We've never finished above Man United in Premier League.
No, we haven't. This would be the first time if we can hang on to third. Billy.
Yeah, I think 9's a fair score. I mean, the lad he's got to stay on that right hand side though. He just looks a much better player on the right hand side. Looking that right flank, contributes so much. That, like you say, the tackle last night, never gives up. Proper, effort man, and he's got loads of pace to burn as well. Just wish he'd shot when he was in the box last night instead of passing it. He had one chance where he could have shot, he didn't. But once he starts scoring, I think he'll score a few. I do, honestly, because people ain't about to keep up with him.
Cool, Alex.
Yeah, I'll give him a 9. I think he's going to be incredible. You can see that he's gone under the radar now because we're doing so well. This is perfect for us because it means nobody's talking about, £40 million Gordon's not doing very well. This is great. Nobody's talking about him. He can just integrate into our style of play and just crack on and learn. Didn't put a foot wrong. 14 out of 14 passes. He got a key pass. Tackles were great. Really, really tidy. No silly nonsense on the pitch. No attitude. Just really, looking really, really decent. Definitely a 9.
Yeah, Everton fans won't have forgot about that.
Well, we haven't seen the attitude, have we? We haven't seen the attitude from him at all.
No,
not at all.
No. Right, Joe Willock, Billy.
I'll give him an 8. I thought he contributed as well, but that little bit of head tennis he played on himself, where he thought he was a seal for like 30 seconds, was phenomenal. But he's got so much technical ability; it's unbelievable.
Billy. That was against Man United, mid. Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, right. Anyway, he did all that apart from the seal bit. Then 8 out of 10.
Jack.
I agree with Billy. Apart from the head thing, 8. He contributed in a good way. And I feel like he got asked a job and he's done it. So 8.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Eddie Howe's got a really, really difficult job now because that left-hand side, you've got Maxey, Joelinton, Willock. One of them can't play. That's so unfair because they've all been so good. Yeah.
Okay,
give him an 8.
8 for me as well, for all the reasons given. And Isak, Jack.
Did anyone see that nutmeg that Isak did on that play on halfway line? Sublime.
Yeah,
he's just so good, isn't he? 9. The coolness and the intelligence just to lob it over the keeper. I've seen some people saying, he nearly missed. Did he meant that? Did he can't miss an open goal. But yeah, he's different class. He really, really is. And he's definitely got confidence on the board. He's smiling. He's just so confident. He's in his prime now. And I can't wait.
I mean, he's not. He's only 23.
He's not even in his prime.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
There is another level, possibly, if we're lucky.
Absolutely.
But as of now, he's playing brilliant. And when we get Champions League next season, I can't wait for him to fly in that competition as well. So 9.
12th man Toon, thank you for your $1.99 super chat. It will be coming. Alex.
I'm going to break my own rule here and give him a 10 based on not just for this match. He played. This is a kid who was out for so long with a bad injury, and he's played 2 games for Sweden, battered Man United for 80 minutes on Sunday, and then has come on for a cameo on Wednesday, kept intensity, and scored an outrageous goal. Kid's a freak. I need some more synonyms. Somebody buy me a thesaurus. I'm giving him a 10.
Yeah,
I don't even care.
You don't bloody need a thesaurus. Jesus Christ. Billy?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the goals he scores; it's the way he contributes to general play. He's involved in anything good that we do.
Yeah.
He gets himself involved in all the attacking movements, whether he's out wide on the left, whether he's in the middle. Rarely gives the ball away. He's got a fantastic eye for a pass too. Brilliant goal, phenomenal goal. One of the best we've seen. I think 10 out of 10's justified. I'll be honest, even though he's on the pitch for 25 minutes.
Well, I'm going to go for a 9. I can't give him a 10 for the time he's on the pitch. I'm sorry, but it's just the way I'm going. He's a 9. It's a bloody 9 is a fantastic score. If he gets 9s every game, it's
just fun because it's normally the other way around.
Well, it is, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it is. I should be wearing a black polo neck jumper. Spacebar says, Isak 9, what a player. Stick it up your Kieran Dyer. Take your face for a shit. Absolutely, Spacebar. Absolutely. There it is.
I think it is a 9. I'm just giving him the extra point based on the injury and how many problems it was so difficult for him to get fit. And in a week and a half, he's gone Sweden game, NUFC game, quarter of an NUFC game. That is ridiculous. And he's performed really well in every single match as well.
He has.
It's outrageous.
And that goal, and the reaction to it, it's 10 on its own, in my opinion.
It was just superb.
That's a Renaissance painting. That is literally just him standing there holding. That's insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, in December we were wondering where is Isak? What's going on with him? But now he's definitely answered that question now.
Yeah. Now, of course, who else came on?
Target and Mankio.
Target and Mankio. They weren't on long enough, but I'm giving Mankio a 10 just because it was lovely to see him back, and he did get a beautiful header back to the goalkeeper. Mark Target gets a 7, and that's it. Right, guys, before we do anyhow, right, get those emojis going. You know what it is? I bet Daisy was swinging on that bloody thing all night last night, celebrating the victory. I love how everybody puts the emojis, the cow emojis in. It's brilliant. It's
zebra.
Do you know what she's gone? She's gone from a sign of something bad's going to happen. It used to be my beef on Twitter, and now she's a symbol of joy and celebration, ain't she?
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
she's turned things around, and she takes one each, by the way.
Certainly has.
Because it'll equalise 2 minutes into injury time.
She's the Joe Linton of the beef world.
Yes. Right. For Eddie Howe, 10 from me. I mean, look, I can't see him getting less than a 10. He managed that game brilliantly yesterday. The fact that he must have got stuck into the players in whatever way Eddie Howe does at halftime. He will have done that yesterday, turned the team around. Credit to the coaching staff and the players for doing that. So a 10 from me. Alex?
Yeah, 10 with a side note as in a positive, because we can't go any higher than a 10. There's been all this talk of, are we going to change manager when we get to the big time? Are we going to bring in somebody who can handle the Champions League and the names and all of this? Yesterday was the first time I think I got answered personally that question. Can Eddie Howe do it? I think he can. Based on the fact that we're 2-0 up and he's got the lads over at the sideline. The important lads, he's got the senior players, the leaders on the sideline, and he is hammering them, absolutely screaming at them. Not good enough. Crap. Screaming at Trippier, screaming at all of them. Not good enough. We're 2-0 up. And he's like, this is shit, guys. Do better. Passing, positions, this. Elite mentality. Absolutely elite mentality, which has solidified it for me that I think he can take the next level. We can get some more personalities in the dressing room, and I think the next challenge is going to be managing 60 to 70 fixtures at a higher level. He's never done that before. Elite mentality. That's the first time I've seen that from him. Absolutely brilliant.
Hayden says he rewatched the game and Burn actually played quite well. Hayden, you want to lend to these, mate?
You rewatched it upside down, mate. That was trippy.
Yeah, jeez. Billy.
Squad management.
What you said. That was quite witty from Alex, that wasn't it? You watched it upside down.
His squad management is phenomenal. To take the players out, and all three that came in, or two, what was it? Two, Joe Linton and two, wasn't it?
Wilson and
Joe Linton and Wilson both scored the fucking goals. 3 of the 4 goals, 4 of the 5 goals. Sorry, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal how he's done it. Things are going right for him at the minute. He's got us playing in an entertaining fashion with lots of effort in between that, and he's a phenomenal manager. And once again, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, Jack.
10. I cannot wait for this documentary to drop. I can't wait to see what he says in that dressing room half time. But from what we saw when Nick Pope went down and we were all huddling around, he was absolutely hammering them. He's just a class manager. You never often see him smile halfway through a game, rightly so, because it's not done in 90 minutes. But his man management is superb, and the way he manages, it's just unreal. And people thinking we're going to change managers when we get to Champions League. No, I think he's going to be here for a while, and I love him. 10 out of 10.
Well, the fans get a 10 as well. Absolutely magnificent on a Wednesday night going to London. Just absolutely brilliant. And that concludes tonight's review show.
I have one more thing to add.
Okay.
What's in that notepad?
Well,
because notepad, 20 seconds after kickoff, the camera pans to Eddie Howe. Scribbles. What's he writing 20 seconds after kickoff? Has he noticed something tactically already?
Yeah, but look at the difference between him and Steve.
Don't see other managers
do that.
To
stand there like an Easter egg.
Well, his notepad had local takeaways on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
What we're having tonight?
Or the local cabbage farm or something like that. Yeah. Listen, he's just magnificent, isn't he? He's full on whatever he does. He is full on 100% committed to our football club.
Notepad.
It just amazing. But there you go, guys. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. As I say, over 1,000 tonight. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much for the super chats, the new members. Thank you to the mods again for brilliant performance. Thank you to Jack, Billy, and Alex. But thank you to everybody out there for watching. You've been absolute legends. If you have enjoyed the show, please hit that like button. It does really, really help the channel. I can't stipulate that enough, how much likes do actually help. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, come and be part of the community by hitting that subscribe button and also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload our videos to the channel. But that is it. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night, guys. We will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock again with another match preview. This time it's Brentford. The stats will be back. I'm sure Daisy will be here. We'll all be here, and we hope that you're all there. But in the meantime, guys, have a fantastic Friday, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
How are the lads and lasses? Come on then.
How are the lads?